everyone, and welcome to today's video. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a pick a group tarot reading. It's technically a pick a crystal tarot reading. It's a pretty exciting theme. I think it'll be helpful just with the way that astrology is influencing things and the fact that we're halfway through 2022 already. It could be interesting to see. Now, this is a timeless reading, so whenever it finds you is when it's meant to find you. I'm going to do my best to keep the references in your reading general, but specific. We're going to try to get as much information, and there will be an extended reading as well. So without further ado, the topic of today's video is, what are you attracting? We're going to have a look at what your energy is calling in, what are you pulling towards you at this current moment in time, and then in the extended reading we're going to have more of a look at who you are attracting next, what they're like and what you can expect with them. Now, I'll talk more about the extended reading in your groups. What you can expect in today's video is we're going to have a look at what you're attracting, when it's coming in, and how it's coming in. We're going to get advice if you need it, but we're going to try to get as much specific information in a relatively short amount of time because I don't have a lot of time to film today. And hopefully this reading will not only resonate, but give you the information you need in order to attract the best possible outcome in your situation. So without further ado, let me take you into the pick a group portion, and hopefully I'll see you in your reading. Okay, so welcome to the pick a group portion, everyone. As you can see, we have 3 groups to choose from today. Starting with group number 1, you guys have the amethyst crystal over here. So if you can see, the amethyst crystal has a lot of clusters. This one, it has a lot of mini clusters as well. But other than that, it's just a classic amethyst crystal. So that is going to be group 1's crystal. Over here we have group number 2 with the selenite. This is a fairly short piece of selenite. Normally selenite does come in longer shards like this, but this one is short and a little thick. So I've had this piece for a while, and just like the amethyst, it's a very classic piece of selenite as well. I tried to use crystals that you could all recognize fairly quickly, which is why group 3 you have pyrite. It's a very different physical sort of image compared to the other 2, but it's still a crystal all the same. Pyrite's also known as fool's gold, especially during the gold rush era. As you can see, it's kind of a crystal that has lots of little clusters of minerals that form the larger piece of pyrite. If you feel inclined, you may wish to do your own research on these 3 crystals, but I would prefer it if you didn't think that far into it. Just see which of these 3 groups you're feeling most called to. A heads up, I'm filming this after I've done your groups, so I can tell you that some groups were linked to others, so if you are feeling drawn to more than one, that could be why. If you need more time selecting a group, pause the video now, or join me in the quick 1-minute meditation playing after this clip. That meditation is aimed at connecting you with your intuition and ensuring that you're picking the right group based on what your intuition is telling you. When you know which of these 3 groups you feel most drawn to, click on your timestamp in the description box and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number,
It may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color. It could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading.
Okay, so welcome group 1. If you chose this amethyst crystal right here, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're asking Spirit today, what are you attracting? So let's get into it. I've got a couple of new decks that I'm really keen to use with you today, and I'm hoping to use the guidebook for one of them. This is the Cosmos Oracle deck. Why couldn't I say Oracle? The Cosmos Oracle deck. And I've also got a new tarot deck as well, which I haven't learned the name of properly. I think it's the Talisman tarot deck. And we're hopefully, that was a really bad shuffle, going to be able to have a deep look at, it's a really bad shuffle, what you are attracting. Let's have a look at what first, and then we'll have a look at how and when. Okay, Spirit, oh my days. Oh my Lord. For group, oh my Lord, for group 1, please, the amethyst group. What is group 1 attracting? What is group 1 attracting? Okay. What is group 1 attracting, please, Spirit? Okay. The back of your deck, we have magnetic field. So sweets, this tells me that you are very attractive right now. Magnetic field, excuse me, tells me that your energy is really, look at that expansion. Your energy is really trying its best to pull in something towards you. Now, whether you were actively manifesting or whether you're just really been clearing through a lot of karma, a lot of dead energy, a lot of dead ends, and a lot of unresolved sort of energetic issues in your life, I see your energy expanding. I see you trying to attract something towards you, but I'm also getting a hint here that it's plural. I don't see you attracting any one thing, group 1. You are very attractive right now. Your cards are entropy, 528 hertz, which is interesting as a frequency. And then we also have the cosmic network. So I see you pulling in like-minded people. I see you connecting yourself to a higher outcome, to a better outcome. I see that this may have come off the back of you separating yourself from someone else. And I also believe, group 1, that with entropy here, you're kind of in a free state where you're attracting what is meant to come in because you've been able to liberate yourself from something else. Now, a lot of the cards in this deck go beyond my scope of current awareness, so I am going to be using the guidebook where necessary. I want to have a look at that 528 hertz straight off the cuff and see what we can find in the guidebook for 520 hertz, please, Spirit. If it's in here, I hope it is. Surely it is. Where would I find it? Towards the end, apparently. Are you sure? Towards the end, I wanna be forever young. Dang. I apologize, you guys. I should have done a lot of this off camera. My Lord, I don't think it has a, oh, here we go. I just found it. Yeah, look at that. It's the love frequency. Unite, integrate, and embrace. 528 hertz is used to return human DNA to its original state. How can you doubt what develops through an act of love? It is from here that everything is born. So, I mean, I want to say that some of you are really definitely attracting companionship, but sweets, it doesn't feel like it's just one person. Your group is complicated because I feel like you've had to go through a lot to get to this stage. Like, that's what expansion and multiverse were hinting, but that's what magnetic field is hinting. I always think of a magnetic field as something that is very attractive to certain things, right? But on the other instance, when other objects enter a magnetic field, they get loopy and they don't work as well. certain technology doesn't work well in a magnetic field. Compasses don't work well being close to a magnetic field. So I think that on one hand, you have a very attractive presence, but you're also in a very protective presence as well. I think that right now you're in a very, it's kind of, you're balancing between, I want to attract what I need, but I'm going to protect myself from what I don't need and from what I don't want. So I see a lot of you attracting love, 100%. I can't deny that with the love card, the frequency of love card. And then with entropy. So I just realized that this guidebook is chronological in terms of alphabetical. So now that I know that, it's going to be so much easier to find these things. I was making it way more complicated than it needed to be. So with entropy, we have loss of order in a system. Entropy indicates the level of molecular uncertainty of a system. It is the measure of the amount of energy which is lost due to being unable to do work. It is the transition from a disorderly state to an even more disorderly state. There are notions of microscopic order and disorder. And I remember this vaguely from the very early days in science. I never pursued it in my senior years. But it just feels like right now you're kind of a little bit free, for lack of a better word. Next card is expansion, and you had that at the back of your deck. So I feel like Spirit is saying you are going to kind of go through some changes. You may be attracting a change in structure, a change in what you base your priorities on, a change in how you kind of identify yourself, or a change in who you associate yourself with, or who and what is important to you is going to shift. Some of you, your perspectives are shifting. It just seems that you are attracting a change in your structure. And for some of you, this is lifestyle, but we'll have to get tarot to have a look at that as well. And lastly, we have the cosmic network, which makes me think that the way that you choose to associate to others and yourself is changing. I think the cosmic network may be some of you pursuing your intuitive abilities, or at least paying more attention to them and listening to them more, group one. While others of you, I really believe that you're attracting multiple variants of love and connection with cosmic network and the love frequency here. I think that for some of you, you may even be shifting your priorities from one person to another, as in you used to hang around this person or this friend or this partner or this family member a lot, and now you're wanting to gravitate more towards this person instead. But let's see what the guidebook says about the cosmic network as well. Hopefully it's under cosmic. No, it's under T. Oh no. I really want to dive into this book. I think I'm going to do some reading tonight, because I can't be flipping through these pages every time I want to do a reading for you guys. That's not very time efficient. We have equality, available information. Wow, this is big energy. Wow. Sorry, there's just a lot to read here. I think that you are definitely leveling up. This card is definitely about connecting to available information within the cosmic network, being your genius in your own right, and accessing what we all technically can have while going beyond the realm of limitation to do it. So this is some big energy, group one. I wasn't expecting that. This deck is huge in terms of, it really makes you think cosmos level. I think that your group and this reading in general for you is on a much grander scale than what I was projecting. I do see how these sorts of changes to your connection and your love and what you are choosing to focus on could impact your lifestyle, your finances, and things on a very material nature. But to be fair, what you're attracting is much bigger than your material world. You seem to be attracting the opportunity for you to change your material world, for you to expand beyond what you currently see. And I didn't think it was going to be that kind of reading. It feels like this is turning into a Spirit Talks episode, to be honest. It feels like you are in a very transformative state. state, group 1. I would be very surprised if your life is the same 12 months from now. 2 months from now, for some of you, you've had to lose things in order to gain a heck of a lot. And you're in this kind of moldable, free forming state now where a lot of you are connecting this cosmic network. In the guidebook, I don't know if you read, I had to skim through, I couldn't read it out loud. There were too many names, but they were listing people like Galileo, Da Vinci, Einstein, Mozart, Beethoven, people who were geniuses in their own fields, how they have been able to connect to the cosmic network to master their respective fields and be able to gain wisdom, information, and share that with the rest of the collective. So I'm going to dip into tarot now. And Spirit, can you please tell me what group 1 is attracting more specifically? We have the 8 of Swords in the reverse position. What is group 1 attracting? We have the 6 of Coins in the upright position. What is group 1 attracting? We have that Knight of Cups. I'm not surprised. You're obviously attracting love. And may I please grab one more card? What is group 1 attracting? We have the 9 of Coins. My group 1s, you have some pretty big plans with the universe. At the back of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands reversed. You have worked very hard to get to where you are, okay? And whether this means that you physically put in a lot of effort or energetically, you have just been clearing the way for these changes. The 10 of Wands reversed tells me that your group has had to balance their energy over a while now. For some of you, it's been years, but the goal behind this 10 of Wands is trying to balance what you need versus attracting what you need as well. What do I need to do versus what can the universe help me with? For some of you, what you're attracting is something that you've been waiting and working hard for a very long time. And you had to kind of just sit back and hope that all of this effort, all of this patience for some of you was going to pay off. I see with the 10 of Wands that it's yours, especially in the reverse position. There's not much more you could do to prove yourself. You're in a very attractive state because you've allowed yourself so much room in your life for these things to come towards you. You've freed up so much room in your life for these things to come towards you, group 1. And I see that a lot of this has been about learning what's your responsibility and what isn't. What do I have to do? What do I need to do? What is helpful for me in this situation versus what is unhelpful? What do I need to let go of? At the very least, some of you are attracting time off from your responsibilities, the opportunity to really take time away from things that have been stressing you out and just really wearing you down. While for others of you, this card is really just highlighting the fact that you're attracting a lot towards you and a lot that you deserve because you've put in a lot of effort. Now, this 8 of Swords is interesting, group 1, because it tells me that you guys are attracting clarity. You're attracting things that are very straightforward in nature. They're not meant to be secretive. They're not meant to be elusive and illusionary. You shouldn't have to read between the lines in order to realize what this is and how it's beneficial for you. The 8 of Swords reversed is also you attracting the opportunity to see beyond your limitations, the ability to see beyond what may be holding you back, whether that's a matter of perception or whether these are genuine challenges that have made you feel like a victim of your circumstances. I see self-liberation, I see clarity, and I see you coming out of a feeling of hopelessness and helplessness. I see you feeling more empowered and feeling better informed over what your choices are, what actions you have at your disposal, and how you can take that action to benefit your situation. Some of you are going to receive news that is immediately helpful. Like maybe you have a current challenge in terms of a bill I wasn't expecting came out of my account last night, and now I'm $10 short for rent. You know, I see immediate information offering a solution to you that immediately gets you out of a binding situation. So some of you really need to keep your channels of communication open so that you can receive this information. Check your emails, answer your calls, make sure you're staying on top of your mail, because I see information liberating you over here with that Eight of Swords. You're attracting clarity and your opportunity to break out of that feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. With the Six of Coins and the Nine of Coins, it's very clear that your group is someone who is supposed to be financially abundant, at least secure and stable. I see some of you having very beneficial loans. I see you attracting a beneficial contract, something that is going to improve your financial situation. And I see the exchanging of money. So it feels like a loan situation, like you giving in order to receive more. I'm going to put down a $50,000 deposit in order to secure a $500,000 home, you know? That would be crazy. I wish we could have a deposit that low, but it's not like that in Australia. But I just see with the Six of Coins here that group one, you are someone who is attracting financial stability at the very least. But mostly your group seems to be attracting successful contracts, successful business decisions, successful collaboration, reciprocal partnerships when it comes to your money. You may be attracting clients that are very supportive and that pay their bills on time if that's where you're at with your career. Or you could be attracting a lucrative employment contract, you know, that sets you up and gives you more financial stability. I just see a very beneficial exchanging of money here that improves your financial situation. Outside of finances, the Six of Coins is telling me that your group is attracting reciprocity. People and situations that give as much as they take so that you don't feel like you're being put out of balance. And you've worked really hard to do this within your own energy, group one. You're the kind of group who has been really trying to stay receptive, especially through all of these retrogrades. You've been really trying to stay receptive, and to the point where you want to make sure that you are yourself, only giving as much as they will return. So I see reciprocity. I see people realizing that the boundaries that you have and why they are necessary to respect, especially if you've been struggling. Side note, this isn't going to apply to all of you, especially if you've been struggling with maintaining healthy boundaries with certain people in your life. I see them finally getting the picture. And certain people who cannot give as much as they take will naturally fall off, okay? If they haven't already, because your group feels like you would have already lost some people to get to where you are today. We also have the Knight of Cups. So, okay, I gotta say this because it's going to apply to that one person. I see a memorial service being successful, okay? If you've lost somebody in the last 2 years and you're hoping to have some sort of memorial service or something to honor them, and you're worried about it being successful and worried about the right people being there or having the right amount of money to make it what they would have wanted, I see it being successful. I see it being very successful. And I see that that energy is going to help tie up a lot of, or that event is going to help tie up a lot of loose ends for some of you as well, because it gives you the closure you need to move forward and it helps you feel like you've honored them. Very much a side note, obviously that's not going to apply to all of you, but I have to honor the messages that come through. With the Knight of Cups here, following on from that previous message, I do see somebody who's passed away giving you their blessing to move forward and to fall in love and to foster connections in love. It feels like you have a lot of support from people who have passed on, group one, because I'm picking up that they've been there to support you when other people physically couldn't, because of what you've had to go through with balancing out your energy and making sure that you're staying high vibrational with your boundaries. I think that you may have had to lose some people in order to do that. And I just feel this energy of taking care of you and supporting you and nurturing you from the other side, and showing you that what you're doing is going to pay off in the long term, especially with the Knight of Cups here. It's like you're definitely attracting romance, especially if you're single. If you're in a relationship, I see you attracting more of the kind of relationships, what is the word? More of what you want from the relationship, attracting more balance, more romance, more reciprocity, more tenderness. I see a lot of emotional intimacy coming towards you, Group 1, if it isn't in your life already, because the goal for you is to have more of what you deserve right now. That seems to be the energy that the universe is trying to give to you. That seems to be what you're attracting naturally, more of what you deserve, especially after having to go through what you really didn't deserve. For some of you, this Knight of Cups is a peace offering as well, with somebody kind of reaching out to you and saying, hey, Group 1, I'm really sorry for what happened. Will you accept my apology? Now, I do see this Knight as more of a romantic energy, but I think that the Knight of Cups in your spread as a general reading represents this sense of connection and this sort of energetic support that you're attracting. You're definitely attracting people in your life who are emotionally available, who are supportive, and who can take care of you as you take care of them. If you're single, I definitely see you attracting all of that in a romantic partner. Lastly, with the Nine of Coins, I definitely see success within yourself. I see you attracting individual independent success, as in you being successful by yourself without whoever else comes in. If you are thinking of sort of venturing out and growing your income in some way, I see that being successful. I think that some of you are really mastering your routine for yourself and making yourself feel good and successful, especially if it was to do with your skincare or your hair routine. The Nine of Coins can also represent how we feel about ourselves externally. So I think that some of you are just really attracting a glow up here, and it's going to impact multiple areas of your life, but definitely your finances, because it's coins. I think that overall your group is absolutely attracting the opportunity to be more independent if you're not already, as well as financially stable and successful. You've got stability over here with the Six of Coins, this feeling of balance. But the Nine of Coins is like it's going to grow even more. You're still growing, you're still accumulating when it comes to your coin. So that is what you're attracting. Let's have a look at when, Spirit. Can we clarify the timeline when it comes to the clarity with that Eight of Swords? Yeah, I do see this happening very quickly. I've got to be honest. I think some of you just need to kind of change your perception a little bit and start noticing what's already around you. We do have an earthy energy about this, so that tells me that that Eight of Swords is more of an ongoing mentality. It's a long-term feeling of success, in terms of while you may check your emails and find an opportunity had been lurking in your spam folder or in yesterday's junk mail, this can be an ongoing practice where you are constantly checking your mental state and ensuring that you are staying open to all forms of communication and receiving information. I think that Spirit is saying that you're going to go through certain experiences that lead to a lot of success and a lot of pleasure in terms of helping you get out of that feeling of hopelessness and helplessness, which will help expand your ability to see opportunity. Once you find opportunity in these unusual ways, you're going to find it very hard to continue to think that you're stuck. So this is an ongoing ability, changing your perception in order to see how you can benefit from that situation, however challenging it is, finding opportunity in those moments of helplessness and hopelessness. So honestly, I see that happening very quickly if it hasn't already, but I see this mentality being a lifetime of acquisition. You know, it's not just a one-off thing. It's like Spirit saying, no, you're going to have this ability for the rest of your life, and it's going to make you look very lucky to people that don't know you well, to people that don't realize realize that it's a strong mental struggle for you to maintain this within yourself. Let's have a look at that Six of Coins. When is group 1 attracting this balance of finances, this contract? We have the Nine of Cups reversed. So let me get another card. When are they attracting this contract, this Six of Coins energy? You got to be careful with this, because I see something falling apart first. I see that this reciprocity, this balanced energy, and this potential loan that some of you are acquiring, it doesn't happen in a straightforward nature. There's something unorthodox about the system. You hear it through the word of mouth of somebody else. You don't follow the usual way of doing it in order to get that form of reciprocity and that successful partnership. I feel like you have to kind of check the fine print on this one, and maybe if it's a loan, you won't be successful through the major institution. It's more likely that you get the loan through a smaller brokerage, or it's more likely that you meet these people who give as much as they take from unlikely places that you don't usually go to. Maybe, you met most of your friends in school or in college or in the workplace, but with the Hierophant reverse, Spirit's like, you're going to meet these people and you're going to gain this opportunity in an unusual place. I think with the Nine of Cups reversed, it's not what you had wished for, it's not what you expected, but the Queen of Goblets upright tells me that it's absolutely what you needed, and it definitely brings you the outcome that is the best for your situation, the best possible outcome. So it's not what you wished for, but it's absolutely what you needed, and you're going to be very satisfied with the results. Let's have a look at that Knight of Cups, looking specifically at your romance and those loving, supportive, caring, compassionate connections that you are attracting, because there's multiple in your group. What can you tell us about the timing here? Interesting. I do love a Three of Swords moment in timing, because that's very fast moving. What can you tell us about the timing here with the Knight of Cups for group 1? When can group 1 expect? Okay, that's interesting. When can group 1 expect their Knight of Cups to come in? This is an interesting reading. Three of Wands at the back of the deck in the upright. So some of you have already invested energy into something, and it's just a matter of letting yourself see where it goes. We have the Three of Swords reversed, even better. We have the Ten of Cups reversed, interesting, and the Moon upright. Some of you already have someone in your energy that you're not seeing clearly because you're still attached to someone or something else. In terms of attracting new love, I think that some of you need to let go of your attachment to another connection first in order to attract this person, while for others of you, it's almost like you're not expecting them when they come up. I think with the Moon here, it's going to be a little bit of a game of how do I feel about this person, and do they actually see me in that way? Because it makes me think that you're doubting yourself, and that there's fear here, and that the timing is very impacted on how you feel and how you pay attention to your fears. Because if you let your fears overcome your feelings, then you kind of talk yourself away from exploring new things with this person and with new people in general. I think that some of you may kind of fall back into old patterns in terms of old connections or just old ways of thinking, until you kind of are able to see beyond that and be more emotionally available in order to attract those emotionally available people. While for others of you, I think that this could be the case of you having someone in your energy right now that you just don't realize sees you in that way, because you're focusing on what you don't have when it comes to love. And in the past, this is what happened, and I don't have that, so there's nobody here. But actually, I think a lot of you, especially with the Three of Wands upright, a lot of you already have someone who's interested in you. So we're going to talk more about who you're attracting in the extended reading. But that's what I'm seeing with the Nine of Cups and Knight of Cups in terms of timing. It could be the case where it's more about switching your fear-based thinking to allow yourself to be more emotionally available to meeting new people. Because fears and illusions seem to be standing in the way there in terms of timing, causing us to fall back on unhelpful patterns and focusing on what we don't have instead of what we could have based on the opportunities and people around us. So what about that Nine of Coins, please, Spirit? When can they expect that financial security, abundance, self-dependence? Self-dependence, is that right? Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. When can they expect that? Thank you. Okay, so a lot of you already have that, but I think that with the Justice card at the back of the deck, ironically, it has a lot to do with the Six of Coins. Your financial success has a lot to do with the contracts and partnerships that you sign and get into when it comes to your money. So I do think that if you sign the right contract, if you set your finances up with the Six of Coins to ensure that you are making goals in your material world and able to achieve more by potentially borrowing money, I think that you could really achieve this quite quickly as soon as that contract is signed, basically. I see some of you gaining financial security through a relationship as well. Sorry, we were just cut off by my camera, group one. But I do see some of you gaining financial security through a relationship as well. I also see you gaining income, if this makes sense, through a divorce. That's not going to apply to all of you, but with the Justice card reversed, it feels like you have to separate your assets from somebody else as well. So obviously that's going to be a smaller portion of you. But I just think that contracts have a lot to do with your money here and making sure that you sign the right contracts and that you associate yourself with the right people in order to get further ahead. Now, in terms of the other tarot, we have the Knight of Goblets, which is the Knight of Cups again, the Star reversed, and the Seven of Wands reversed. So for some of you, this security, this financial security is something that has the potential to get even bigger once you start looking into options online. With the Star reversed, I see some of you having really practical ways of saving money, making money, but I think that the online or internet has a way of enhancing your finances, whether you work online or whether you put your business online or whether you open up to an online clientele. Whatever this is, it feels like we have the best of both worlds with the Star reversed. We're living in the future here using technology while also maintaining a grounded sort of old school approach to the way that we make money. I think some of you do need to explore your options online in terms of setting yourself up with your money, but I see this happening quite quickly if you're not already successful. I think you're attracting ongoing financial security, and that sense of independence is not going to leave your group because it's going to be something that you're very attached to. It's something that becomes a part of your identity almost, being that independent and that financially sort of secure. You're not going to want to go back. So with the Seven of Wands reversed, this is an indication of trying different strategies, especially when you're unsuccessful. If something is working, I'm hearing if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I do see you trying other strategies if there's too many challenges or too much resistance. For some of you, this is about passive income. Okay, these two cards, this is about not breaking your back, putting all this energy into something, finding other ways to make money passively without you physically having to be there all the time. An example of passive income in my instance is extended readings, right? Instead of a personal reading, me having to personally sit down and do a reading with you, I can do an extended reading and whoever it is meant to find will be able to access it. So that is an example of a passive income in tarot, but passive income can apply in many, many different ways. Subscriptions are another version of passive income. You could make an ebook available and you've already put in the work into that book X amount of people can download it if they want to. So I think that passive income is your key to financial success and continuing your sense of financial freedom. But also with the Knight of Goblets here, it is about staying grounded in what matters to you and having a strong connection to, I'm doing this because I find this to be of great importance. So for some of you, there is a feeling here of putting your heart into a project and kind of fostering it and making it very meaningful before you release it into the world. I think the Knight of Goblets in terms of timing is saying that at the end of the day, it's not a matter of quantity, it's a matter of quality, and you trying to make sure that you're happy with whatever it is that you're feeding your attention into when it comes to your financial success. In terms of independence, I see you being able to maintain independence in a relationship by ensuring that you give yourself enough time away from them as well. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Groupus Onepus. When it comes to what are you attracting, we had a look at what and we had a look at when. I think the how was kind of explained throughout the way, so I'm going to call your reading there. I'm very excited to go into your extended reading now so we can have a look at who you're attracting. We're going to pull personality traits, have a look at what they're adding into your life, how you're supplementing their life. We'll get some channeled messages just to figure them out a bit more and see what they're like. You have multiple people, so I might just focus on the romance and then we'll see if we can get messages from anyone else as well. Yeah. And then we'll get some advice about who you're attracting. So if you'd like to join me in the extended reading, it will be in the description box. I had to think about that. I've been channeling this cosmic energy. My mouth is like, what is an extended reading? Anyway, the link to the extended reading will be in the description box. Thank you so much for tuning in, Group 1. I hope you found this reading helpful. I hope it did add more information to your current situation. You are an incredibly well-balanced person. And I hope that at the end of the day, this reading just confirmed that all of your hard work that you've been putting into being this attractive, high vibrational being is paying off, okay? You are very successful and you are set to be very successful for the remainder of your lifetime based on what you've been able to break away from and what you've been able to teach yourself in the recent years of your lifetime. So thank you so much for gracing my reading with your energy, and I hope that at the end of the day, these messages were very helpful for you. I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi Group 2 and welcome to your reading. If you chose this selenite crystal, then this is going to be your reading. We're asking Spirit, what are you attracting? We're going to have a look at what you're attracting, when you can expect it to come in, and we're going to explore how you're attracting it as well. So let's get into it, sweets. We've got some new decks. Excuse me, I said that with a weird accent. We've got some new decks to explore today. So let's get right into it, shall we? I'm going to start with this beautiful Cosmos Oracle deck. It is a very different kind of deck, you guys. I knew when I saw it online that I really wanted it. I actually have a referral link to the wonderful business that helps curate these independent decks, and the proceeds do go back towards the artist, the original creator of the deck. So click on the link in the description box if you find this deck intriguing, but I'm still learning how to use it. So I'm going to be pulling the guidebook out to help me curate the messages for you today. Let's have a look. Group 2, please, Spirit. Those that chose the selenite over here. What is Group 2 attracting? Okay, what is Group 2 attracting? Thank you, Spirit. At the back of the deck, we have Parsec. Okay, let's put Parsec over there. We also have Dark Nebula, Aurora Polaris, That's what we have on the south. And we have protoplanetary disk. So if you couldn't tell already, this deck is complicated. Thankfully, I've figured out the system in the guidebook. Group 1 were my guinea pigs, unfortunately for them. So I've got it down pat now. I know how to switch through this book efficiently to help us get our messages. And we're going to actually start with this bottom deck energy, Parsec, and the reverse position. For your group, I do want to read it reversed. I just have a feeling that your attraction is quite complicated. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to really, yeah, isn't that interesting? I'm going to have to really channel these energies. I'm filming your reading late at night too, so my nerve is just wide open, if that makes sense. For you who follow me, you know what I mean. But if you're new here, join the family. This lingo will become more conventional the more you watch. So with Parsec here, I can see group 2 that you are attracting closeness. This card usually represents distance. That's why we've got those 3 dots separated. And I see that for you, the goal is to actually create closeness. So some of you guys may be feeling very separated or distant from a sense of connection or community. You may be craving some sort of connection, but I think that this closeness isn't just a feeling in terms of a person or a community or a tribe. I feel like you're creating closeness and connection to other goals that you have right now, other manifestations. I feel especially called to highlight those who are manifesting success, recognition for their hard work, or some sort of business or loan. I feel like you guys are very close to receiving confirmation that the steps that you're taking are accurate and that you're on the right path. The other thing about this card is it talks about bringing in clarity, trying new things. The reason why this card in the upright is about distance, because it's about creating space and enough of a silence to be able to receive clarity. So when it's in the reverse, I feel like we're getting close to something that we've been seeking. Let's have a look at our other themes now. So that was your bottom deck energy. You're attracting something with this dark nebula. Now, intuitively, I feel like dark nebula is more of that clarity because I feel like it's highlighting something that you had intuitively felt, and it's confirming something that may not have been an overall positive thing, but you suspected that it was happening, so you'd started sort of distancing yourself from it. I think dark nebula is this dark sort of starry energy of you seeing the truth despite being plagued with confusion or a lack of information. Let's see what the book can confirm for us. Spirit Dark Nebula. Hiding the treasures of light, lack of clarity and understanding, dim and blurred visibility, birth light and evolution. Well, this is not the case. Cut off the light, the dark nebula is not linked to any stars. It is not ionized, nor does it reflect the light of any body. A dark nebula is simply a cloud of interstellar dust, which does not shine or emit light. Through a telescope, it appears as a dark patch hiding stars. So that's interesting. Why is this important for you? Because I feel like you're attracting a level of mystery as well. I feel like some of you are purposefully trying to be incognito right now, or elusive, mysterious. You're trying to kind of hide. I feel like you're keeping your cards close to your chest here, group 2. And I sense that you're attracting some time to get some heavy lifting done in terms of making some big progress towards your goals without everybody seeing what you're doing. So I feel like you are attracting privacy with Dark Nebula here, because we know that the stars are still there, right? We know that what you're going through is still happening, but there's a level of not wanting everybody to see that. And I think that you're attracting the opportunity to be a bit more cautious, careful, and maybe just secretive about what you've got going on. Aurora Polaris is a big question mark for me though, because this card is reversed. And I feel like what's happening for you is something that you're you're having, it's like you don't want to share it with everybody. This is a beautiful moment, a beautiful phenomenon, and those who get to witness it are usually very inspired by what they see. But then with you, sweets, it's like, no, I don't want anyone to see that. I don't want people to know. So some of you, it could even be about having a child and you're hiding that from people. It could be about you creating something for yourself and you're not wanting to share it everywhere. It gives me this energy of when I first started the Hermit Tarot, I didn't tell anybody in my personal life. And when I did, I just was very casual about it. And it got to a point where I had to tell them because it started to become a business. And that's what this gives me the vibes of, is like you're keeping something under wraps here. In the book, this card is the Cosmic Dance, pure natural beauty. Who wouldn't want to witness this? That's exactly what I was saying. And yet we're blocked here. Light phenomenon full of color and shades of luminescence appears in the sky, dancing and a stunning cosmic dance with gentle movements. 333 portal, be thankful. So I feel you trying to accomplish something here. And for some of you, it's giving me revenge body vibes, you know, like that feeling of like, well, you don't deserve me at my best if you couldn't handle me at my worst. I do feel a glow up in your group. I feel like you are attracting success, group 2. But there's something so secretive about your success. You don't want everybody to see it. Last, we have protoplanetary disk. And again, the imagery on this card, although it is limited, is reflecting this sort of portal that we're looking through. And we're able to see 3 planets in this portal. And it looks like from where we are, the planets, you know, there's obviously a lot more going on. But we're only seeing sections and corners and little glimpses of what the planets have to offer. So let's see what's going on here for you with this proto-planetary disk. Spirit, what is group 2 attracting? You're my curious ones, my questionable ones. Are you okay, group 2 ones? We're very close. Protoplanetary disk, where planets themselves are formed. Although all the nebulous material makes it difficult to achieve clarity in the here and now, something large, concrete, solid, and with endless possibilities is brewing. Interesting. You're standing in a giant incubator, group 2. This is exactly where all planetary systems and physical processes take shape to create a planet. And not just that, all this happens around a star. So sweets, I feel like for some of you, you have been feeling in the dark, confused, alone, separated, isolated, disconnected, unseen, unrecognized, and doubtful. And some of you have put yourself in this situation purposefully, kind of like a downward spiral feeling, while others of you have felt this way in terms of other people not recognizing your success and you feeling very unseen. So I see you attracting success, group 2, but I see you, once you have it, being very selective about who you share it with. You're like, you know what, just because I'm vibing now, just because I'm popping off now, sorry to use this language, I've been around a lot of young people, sorry to, you know, what's the word, just because I'm succeeding and excelling doesn't mean you can just come back now. We need to get tarot group 2 because I see success, but Spirit's highlighting the fact that you're being very careful about who you show and share the success to. So let's see, I'm going to use this new tarot deck, the Telesma Tarot, is that right, Spirit? I keep getting it wrong. Telesma Tarot, yes. Telesma Tarot. Spirit, what is group 2 attracting? What is group 2 attracting? We have the 5 of coins, a change in your financial situation. What is group 2 attracting? We have the 10 of cups reversed. Okay, a completely different emotional support network. Some of you, you're attracting people who you weren't related to and adopting each other as family. the Hierophant reversed, an unconventional yet equally satisfying lifestyle, and definitely clarity to the information that you seek from an unusual or unlikely source. Spirit, can we clarify the Five of Coins? We have the High Priestess. Ooh, you are so mysterious, powerful, and mystical. What is group 2 attracting with this 10 of Cups? The Knight of Coins. What is group 2 attracting with this Hierophant? The Chariot reversed. So I do see you floundering a little bit, only because you are cut from a different cloth, group 2. Some of you are my black sheeps of the family, feeling like you were born into the wrong time or into the wrong family. And I see, what's your bottom deck energy? Queen of Swords, Two of Coins. I see you ultimately discovering your niche and really pursuing it. I see you attracting the opportunity to be cold, to be selective, to be subjective, to, if you want to, look at the bigger picture. But no, actually, I don't have to anymore. I'm choosing to be very specific about who and what I want to cling to. And I see you being very calculated about this. You're attracting the ability to see things clearly with the Queen of Swords. And this is manifesting as you being very selective, very careful, and very cold. Some people are going to look at you as being very cold because you are choosing to be close with certain people and then you're forcing distance and separation between others. I do see a period of isolation ending for you. I see the wonderful opportunity for you to gain a sense of community, but in the meantime, you're actually attracting a complete change in your physical circumstances with this Five of Coins over here. Group 2, you are attracting the opportunity to liberate yourself from a situation that has been icing you out anyway. The Five of Coins is a change in your material world, which could lead to temporary issues with your resources, right? I'm not going to pretend that this card isn't challenging. When we do go through changes like this, it usually impacts our lifestyle. The Five of Coins can often look like a change in employment, which means that we may need to budget and save and dip into our savings until our next paycheck comes in. It can look like a change in accommodation, which means we may need to seek temporary accommodation until our next lease starts or until our house loan settles and we can move in with our mortgage being ready for us to be there. Now, whatever this change in circumstances is, for the High Priestess to be here, it's something that you aren't wanting to share with everybody. You're doing this because you're protecting yourself and you're setting yourself up for future success. I see some of you fleeing a situation and it feels very like in the middle of the night. Oh, sorry, I have something in my eye. It feels very in the middle of the night. I don't want anybody to know. I'm just going to go. For some of you, this is your social media presence. I see you just creating space and making changes to your material world so that you can leave some mystery and so that you can operate in the shadows a little bit and so that you can have a sense of control over your image again. Some of you were feeling like your material world was so orchestrated by other people that you're wanting to just kind of disappear for a little bit. And I think with this 10 of Cups over here, this is causing you to attract a completely different support network by first removing the bad eggs, poisoning off, I'm hearing, the weeds, and choosing to call people family or not. Like, you are my family, best friend of 5 years. You are my family, wonderful social worker who didn't give up on me. You are my family, twice removed cousin who I met last week and yet we have an unbreakable bond. Whatever it is here, this 10 of Cups reversed is saying you're rewriting your happy ending because you weren't dealt the right one in the first place. You're having to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what, this ain't it. Not only am I unsatisfied, I'm unhappy, and this is not how I deserve to live my life. This is not my ending. This is not the be-all end-all. I've not peaked yet. So I do see you rewriting the tale here in terms of your connections, but I also see with the Knight of Coins that this is going to take time, okay? You're attracting stability in terms of your emotional connections, but that's that kind of connection, that family connection, being able to call somebody family, especially who you don't share blood with, that takes time and trust. And I think that these two things don't always go hand in hand. Sometimes we can trust someone without any time at all. And then sometimes it takes a lot of time before we trust someone. So the Knight of Coins tells me that this process has to be careful, calculated, and somewhat planned. It has to follow a certain process. It can't just be rushed with certain people. I do see some of you allowing certain people who have hurt you to kind of slowly make their way back in a more meaningful, redefined way. But I think that, again, that takes time and trust, and those things don't always go hand in hand. So with the Hierophant here in the reverse position, group 2, I think that all of you are attracting your version of living. You don't want to conform, you don't want to fit into a little box, and you're realizing how you don't fit some sort of status quo with the Hierophant reverse. You're attracting what you need, which isn't at all what other people wanted from you. I see you as being very unconventional. I see you as being very unorthodox, non-traditional. And I think with the Hierophant reversed, you still are struggling to accept these things about yourself. Otherwise, we would have gotten the Star card here instead. And the Star card is a prime example of individuality and being able to heal those energies by being your unique, wonderful self. Accepting that sometimes the brightest stars are born in very dark places where they aren't recognized for their true shine and their true beauty. And they thrive better once they separate from that darkness. So I feel like with this Hierophant here, there's this interesting energy of you accepting yourself, realizing who you are, and it's something that makes you feel like a bit of a black sheep, I've got to be honest. And I see with the Chariot reversed, you've also got to find closure in what happened to you because of the way that you are. And that's difficult because the Chariot is reversed. There's a lot of fear there. There's a mental block and there's an emotional block. So it's interesting because you are attracting time to process all of this. That is the biggest thing about all of this energy, is because we're dealing with so many cups, right? We have Pisces, we have the 10 of Cups, we've got the Chariot with Cancer, and then these energies of mystery. Because we're dealing with so much emotion, we can't put a time frame on this. We're attracting the opportunity to be able to process all of this, a time to slow down, a time to lessen the load of responsibility, a time to breathe out, essentially, offer ourselves respite and recovery. So I do see things slowing down for your group in order for your emotional being to catch up with the physical changes you're experiencing. And just in order for you to connect more with your emotional self and recognize where you're at right now and what you need right now. I do see this as a blessing, but I can also see how if I was in your shoes, group 2, I would not feel like this is a blessing. I would feel like this was all a part of a curse, an elaborate curse. The truth is, there is a lot of room here for everything that you wanted, which is only had possibly created by the fact that you had to lose things in order to gain space for what you need and what you want. Now, I feel like I'm really talking in fables, so we're going to continue on. What do we have next for this group, Spirit? Oh yes, Tarot del Toro. When? Thank you. I'm going to clarify with my Tarot del Toro deck when you can expect this attraction. I kind of want to know more about them though, if I'm honest with you, before we get into when, because I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. It feels like you guys are on a spiritual journey of self-discovery. And I have to acknowledge the kind of group that I read for, right? Like We're definitely something special if we're on here watching tarot readings on YouTube, but I still get shocked when I get these kinds of messages. Group 2, please, Spirit. What are they attracting? Can we clarify that 5 of coins once more? What is Group 2 attracting with that 5 of coins? 5 of coins. Oh, thank you so much. We have the 9 of wands with the 6 of wands reversed. Ooh. So, fire, fire, fire. I heard liar, liar, pants on fire. Oh my gosh. So, some of this situation, I do see you getting more control back over your life. I've got to be honest with you. I see you feeling eventually like you have more control over your life, over your circumstances, and over some of the things that happened to you. Because it felt like before things were just happening to you. People were making decisions without you being there that impacted majorly your life. Now, this 5 of coins is being clarified by 2 wands cards, which tells me there's a lot of frustration, but there's also a lot of strength, resilience, and stamina. You're attracting the opportunity to transition forward and triumph over a challenging situation. The thing about the 6 of wands reversed is we weren't successful in something, and that's why we're here. But that doesn't mean that we can't be successful in general. I just think that you need time to lick your wounds and to reevaluate how you move forward and where you're moving on to next. That's what that situation is. You are attracting a very defensive energy though, so I would be very aware of what you're putting out there, because I see you attracting unwanted defensive energy that is going to continue to create resistance. I see you needing to kind of just appreciate the fact that all the signs are pointing at the situation needing to change, and you're at a point now where you're the one that can take control back by remaining in control of your actions and making the changes based on your limited amount of options here. What is going on with that 10 of Cups energy? What are they attracting there? We have the King of Cups. So I do believe that some of you are attracting a new relationship, a new happy ending, a new happily ever after with someone who is patient, kind, and emotionally mature, to say the least. But I think that this King of Cups just confirms that all of you are attracting support and connection. Absolutely. You're attracting emotional maturity. You're attracting the chance to be able to surround yourself with people who are on your level emotionally. I see you leveling up your emotions, and I see you attracting people who they may not share the same life experiences as you, but they have done enough healing within themselves to know how to be a kind, caring, supportive person. I do think that for some of you, if you have recently ended a relationship, you are attracting someone who is better fit, who is going to be more emotionally aware of your needs and more emotionally supportive towards you and the future that you want. Because some of you did have to end a relationship with a partner because the two of you had very different expectations in terms of the future. So what is going on over here with that Hierophant? What else can you tell us about what Group 2 is attracting? We have the Ace of Wands. So I do see a lot of new beginnings on the other side of these changes that you're making. I think this Hierophant with the Chariot reversed, when it isn't going forward the way that you expected, you do just need to kind of be patient, sit still, and let the inspiration come to you. Because I see you being overwhelmed with fear of the unknown when you're on the precipice of entering something so unstructured, unorthodox, and non-traditional. As exciting as it is because it's very you and it's the chance to be you and yourself as an individual, there is still so much room here for mistakes. And I think with the Ace of Wands, you're going to ultimately, hopefully, with optimism and a lot of gratitude, which doesn't come easily, that requires a lot of strength, you're going to ultimately be able to feel excited for the fact that you're an open book in terms of you have the chance to write the ending yourself and write another chapter and another chapter if you want. I see you being creative here and getting the chance to kind of create what you want here based on what didn't work out. I do see many of you having a new start, a rebirth. I see you getting the chance to be someone that you have always wanted to be because of the changes to your material world. With the Fool reversed, it's not like you're this young, naive thing. In fact, life has really wizened you and hardened you in some ways. I think that you have to learn to balance your wisdom with your skepticism, your experience with your sense of being cynical and maybe even pessimistic because you've been dealt that many bad cards. I do see your fortune changing, but I think your group has a lot of healing to do, in the sense of at times you are going to be attracting a lot of defensive energy because your energy is very defensive and resistant. So Spirit, when will these changes be, these attractions be coming in, starting with that Five of Pentacles? When can group 2 expect this opportunity? We have the Eight of, so this has already started for a lot of you with the Eight of Swords in the reverse position. It is a matter of perception. Some of you have already been experiencing forms of physical hardship and change, and the perception here is about taking the blindfold off and seeing the opportunity. And I realize that I'm being very ignorant of the fact that I'm reading for so many people, and some of you are really going through difficult times. So I do apologize that I'm being so black and white and objective. I don't want to negate from the fact that you are struggling and that you've been through things that need to be validated in terms of your feelings. But I want you to know that how this is improving is the turning point will be when you take that blindfold off and you realize that in this challenging, trying situation, you have still been afforded opportunities to change the outcome within your control. There is so much out of our control, and when we have been given so much of that at once, we sometimes do forget how much control we do have. And that's what I see happening here, is your perception shifting, allowing you to be able to see what you can do in this situation, however limited your options are. Is there anything else you can tell them about the timing of that? Temperance, I do think it's up to you. I think it's up to you to be able to balance your energy out and see the good and the bad. I'm not saying to be blindly optimistic, otherwise we'd have the Wheel of Fortune here or the Knight of Wands. This temperance, this Sagittarius energy is actually about just staying aware of your opportunities, being able to see the bad and the good, right? The good and the bad. Staying grounded in the situation, sure, it's very helpful in a Five of Pentacles situation to remain pragmatic, but I think that you also have to balance that with your optimism in order to get yourself out of that situation and into something more fortunate. What about this Ten of Cups reversed energy? What can you tell us about the timing around that? Connecting with people who actually offer you a happy ending. Two uprights, we have the Hierophant again and the Nine of Swords. So these two cards are telling me that it is going to take time. I believe that the Hierophant, it could be an orchestration for some of you seeking professional advice first before you meet these people. And I think that you may even meet them in a more traditional setting. Ironically, if you could decide to go back to school, for example, you might meet your tribe there. I've been using that word a lot at the moment. If you decide to seek support, you may go to a group session, because it's easier than just sitting one-on-one, because then you can at least listen to what other people have to say as well and choose to speak or not. Sometimes that is the best form of therapy, because you're just listening to other people's stories and feeling validated in what you've been through, and that it is difficult. So I think that you're in a more sort of formal setting when you meet these people who help you find your happy ending, who help form part of your happy ending, your family. And I think that this Nine of Swords upright is confirming that you're going to get the chance to meet a lot of different people, okay? I think this Nine of Swords, excuse me, is talking about a fear that you may have, or an anxious thought that you may have that keeps you up at night of, am I ever going to have this? Am I ever going to find them? Am I ever going to have that close connection I crave? And I feel like, yes, you will. I do see it coming to you exactly as you expect it to, with the Hierophant being upright. It's within your comfortable sort of standard. But I do think that more needs to be done first in order to make room for these beautiful people and in order to give you the best chance to bond with them. We can't expect them to just kind of come in when we're all jagged and rough around the edges and that's the first time they see us. So I feel like healing needs to be done first, and I think that you just need confirmation overall that these people are able to come in. And with that Nine of Swords upright, I do see you connecting with them when you are going through a dark phase, but I don't see the true foundation being laid because of that Knight of Coins, that slow, cautious, careful energy. I don't see that true foundation of like, wow, this is my happy ending person being laid until the Hierophant. You've kind of done some self-care and you've really focused on furthering yourself and trying to progress by yourself. That's when I see you really solidifying strong foundations with your soul family here, with your chosen family. So what about that Hierophant reversed energy, Spirit? When can group 2 expect that to come into their life? We have the Two of Wands in the upright position and the Six of Cups. So this feeling of unconventional, sort of unorthodox, non-traditional energy, it is going to be an ongoing journey with the Two of Wands upright. You'll have many chances to deviate from the path of conformity throughout your life. There'll be many chances. Sometimes you may have to settle into that traditional 9-to-5 job, or sometimes you may have to lead a more matrix orthodox lifestyle, but you're still always, with the Two of Wands, going to have choices to rebel in order to be your most pure version of yourself. With the Six of Cups, it's a very childlike energy. It's a very nostalgic feeling of once upon a time in a dream, this is who I was. So I see that at times the best way that you can express your authentic self is by painting your nails, you know, and just trying to embody that in the moment. Maybe you have such a strict corporate job, and so the best way that you can express yourself is by wearing colorful underwear under your business suit, dyeing your hair on the weekends temporarily, and going to Coachella to offload before you get back into the mundane. I see you having chances and choices and options to deviate regularly throughout your life. But I also think that others of you with the Two of Wands are going to have a very clear, defining moment in your life when things start to fall away, and when you do detach from that significant person or that significant shelter, that significant comfort zone, which for many of you was a relationship. When you do get away from that feeling of like, I have no control, and when you do start to sort of take control back, you're going to have a defining crossroad moment in your journey where you can really just say, you know what? F it all, literally, F it all, I'm done. I'm going to just live in the bushes and have a million cats, and you know, my house may be falling to pieces in 5 years, but at least I'm free. You're going to have that chance. I do feel that for your group, and some of you aren't going to want to take it. You're just going to want to dye your hair and paint your nails and wear colorful underwear every now and then, while others of you are going to go full crazy cat lady, and no regrets, because Six of Cups reversed tells me that this is something that you've always wanted to do ever since you were a child. So at the back of the deck, we have the Five of Wands upright with the Seven of Cups. So this is my group that features a lot of people. You all have so many choices, so many challenges, so many opinions, expectations, and fears. You're not all going to choose the same things and end up in the same outcome, but you're attracting change, you're attracting choices, and you're attracting either the end of your struggles, the need to persevere through the current hurdles to get to the end, or a need to re-strategize and change how you've been investing your energy and how much action you have been contributing to the story in order to change the outcome. And that is the overall energy that I'm getting for your group. Groupus Threepus. We're not there yet. Groupus Tupus. My bad, group 2. I'm going to take this into the extended now, sweets, where we're going to have a look at who you are attracting. We didn't get any clear energies except for this 10 of Cups. So we're going to have a look at who you're attracting there, what their personality is like, how the two of you contribute to each other's lives. I want to focus on one person, so we're just going to look at the next significant person that you're attracting into your life and who they are, how they'll contribute to your journey, how you'll contribute to theirs, what you need to know about them. And then if there is time, we might have a look at other people as well, but we'll see how we go. I anticipate that reading being roughly 30 to 40 minutes long. So you'll know because it'll be up. You can go and check on my website and see if it's something that you're interested in or you want to explore. Thank you so much for joining me here, group 2. I appreciate all of your energy and I appreciate your patience. This was a long reading. I hope you found it helpful. I do think that we got a huge group here in group number 2. So please take what resonates. Don't force anything to fit if it doesn't resonate, and don't let it take from you. It's been a pleasure to read for you. I shall see you if you're joining me in the extended. Otherwise, I shall connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi group 3 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the pyrite crystal over here, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Group 3, in today's reading, we're going to be looking at what are you attracting. I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards, getting specific messages with tarot, and then we're going to have a look at roughly when you'll be attracting these things towards you. The goal of this reading is to just kind of do an energy update on you as well and see where your energy is at and what your current energy is attracting towards it, because obviously like attracts like. Let's get into it. Group 3, there's also going to be an extended reading focusing more on who you are attracting. What are they like? Why are they coming into your life, for example? If that person pops up in this reading, we'll just be looking further into how the two of you influence / impact each other's lives. Let's get into it. For group 3, please, Spirit, what is group 3 attracting? What is group 3 attracting, please, Spirit? Okay, we have selective shield in the reverse position. What is group 3 attracting, please, Spirit? We have the multiverse in the reverse position. What is group 3 attracting, please, Spirit? And we have geocentric model in the upright position. As you can tell, this oracle deck is very different to my usual stuff. I'm just checking that all the cards are in frame. Perfect. At the back of the deck, we have Parsec. So I am seeing signs that you guys have messages in other groups. So if you were drawn to another group, I recommend you go and have a look at that, because there is definitely a clear sign of you having messages in another group as well. But let's get into your messages. So for Parsec to be at the bottom here, sweets, it tells me that you are attracting closeness to something. Some of you guys are very close to receiving what you have been attracting, and I feel your group have been manifesting something. It doesn't feel entirely, what's the word? It doesn't feel controlled though. It feels like this is the kind of manifestation where you have your specific moments where you're very clear on what you want, and then at times your manifestation wanes, or you just kind of have to surrender because you're seeing signs that it's not going the way you expected. And so you're having to slow it down and be more cautious and careful about what you attract in the end. Now, I think with selective shield being here, the main theme of what you're attracting is something very specific that has been struggling to get close to you, because it is very much needing to be on the same vibration as you. It makes me think that you've been attracting this for a while, and it makes me think that other things have been repelled in place of this special thing to come towards you. So it reminds me of when you start to manifest a very specific desired outcome. And I know that this kind of goes against what I was saying about you guys not being specific anymore, but I think that at some point in your journey, you were very clear about what you wanted. And I think that you would have had close moments of getting what you wanted, or you thought like, this is it, only to realize that it wasn't. And that's because it didn't 100% fit the vibration that you were putting out there. So I do see, like, for example, if this was you manifesting your dream home, I see that you may have applied for multiple and you may have been unsuccessful multiple times. If this was you wanting your dream relationship, you may have attempted to build something with multiple people and it just failed. So I see that with selective shield being here in the reverse position, you're attracting something that could have, would have, should have happened with other people, but it didn't. In other situations, but it didn't. It's like this is the thing that you've been waiting for. I see with the multiverse in the reverse position that some of you have really been through similar scenarios of this manifestation previously. And multiverse reverse tells me that for others of you, it is something fairly significant that you're waiting for. And I think that some of you have had chances to build something nearly there before, but you turned it down. I want to say that the multiverse reversed is also here because it seems to be highlighting the fact that there's only one possible outcome here. Like, as much as you feel you have options, and as much as you may have other people telling you like you have other options, you feel like there's only one possible outcome. And lastly, just to touch on this quickly, because I'm going to get messages from the guidebook for all of these cards as well. This is a fairly new deck, and I'm still getting my head around all the physics, terminology, and a lot of the astronomy terminology as well. I'm still getting my head around it, but intuitively with your third card, I feel like the card, this geocentric model, tells me that something about this situation, it fits an idea, or it fits your ideal scenario. Like, when I think of a geocentric model, I think of like the ideal scenario, right? The ideal place for us to live, something that would fit perfectly for our needs. So it's interesting. I want to see if there's more messages in the guidebook. I have already looked at parsec in the guidebook, and it does resemble distance. So in the reverse position, I always look at that as closeness. Now we're going to have a look at selective shield really quickly to see if there's anything else we can gather. Awareness of the energy surrounding us. We distance ourselves from people. We get close to others. Then we look back and we do not really understand who we were and how we are so different now. We distance ourselves for a while, we meet again later, we connect with people as if we have known them our whole lives, while others that have always known suddenly feel alien to us. All these sequences are linked to your vibration. You attract what vibrates similarly in the same way to you. This is everything we've been talking about in this reading. So, if your energy changes, so does your environment for your own evolution. Do not resist letting go of what you no longer feel part of, for the simple fact that you once did. For something new to enter, you have to make room by letting go of the old. Resistance only brings conflicting energies. Let yourself be carried away by that total feeling of an absolute being where I have to be and with whom I have to be. So this does make me think that you guys are struggling with this, for this card to be reversed. And then over here, there's a quick little excerpt that says, a poorly made shield allows infiltration, which causes imbalance. It also prevents the exit of energies, which fulfill their role in the evolutionary cycle. So Spirit is indicating that what you are attracting has been struggling to find its way to you, because some of you have been holding on to things that have fulfilled their evolutionary role. Their time in your life has elapsed, and some of you may be going through that process now, or like you're all on different timelines. So we're not all struggling in that way as we once were, but this is highlighting the fact that what you're attracting has found it very difficult to come your way, because your selective shield, your energy, the vibration you put out has been very inconsistent. Let's have a look at the multiverse energy now. Mobility. Allow yourself to go beyond. The explosion that set the universe in motion did not just create one, but an infinite number of them. The laws which govern you. So cosmic particles form the earth, the water, the colors, and the plants. The inner universe expands and projects the diverse exterior that your body grants. So it's this idea of you create from within as well. The faithful answer to your belief system. This card encourages you to go beyond this belief system, to see the birth of multiverses around you, to see that anything is possible. So it's interesting because, again, this card is reversed. So there is a strong indication of your energy being inconsistent, which is causing fractures in your timeline. I don't know if you guys are into Marvel or if you watched Loki's his little side show that he had on, I think it was Disney. I watched it on Disney Plus. I don't know what other streaming services had it, but that whole show was about the multiverse theory and this idea that when you make one subtle change, or that you cause a fracture in the timeline, and then there's all of these alternate versions of reality. And I think with the multiverse being reversed, some of you are kind of struggling to see things differently, and you may initiate grounds for alternate versions of your reality. You may start to believe in there being the best possible outcome for you and attracting the best possible outcome. And then something happens and you're immediately pessimistic again. So I do see an imbalance here, and we do want to look at geocentric model just to sort of tie this all up before we get some tarot, because tarot is going to make things a lot more specific. So, wow, there's definitely a theme here of struggling with manifestation. This card is the wounded ego. Does everything rotate around the earth? This theory stated that we were the center of the universe. The universe is immense and we are definitely not at its center. This card is related with ego, insecurities, and projection onto others. When we take something personally, it does not say anything about the other person, but it does say a lot about ourselves. Did that hurt? It should not. Recognizing that for some reason our ego is damaged by a point/topic is a powerful virtue. Taking something personally is effectively accepting some fear or insecurity that prevents an open wound being seen clearly or with a broad mind. Let down your guard, work on fears and self-love, investigate the fear or pain lying deep within. And rose quartz could be a powerful mineral which could help you with this task. So, my days, I think I'm just going to go straight to my new tarot deck. And Spirit, take the wheel. Let us have a look at how this impacts what group 3 is attracting, please, Spirit. This deck is huge, so it's very difficult to shuffle. It's very tricky. Okay, Spirit. Group 3. What is group 3 attracting, please, Spirit? What is group 3 attracting? We have the Chariot reversed. What is group 3 attracting? We have the Knight of Cups reversed. What is group 3 attracting? We have the Seven of Swords in the upright. And we do also have the Ace of Swords for you guys. So that's actually very powerful. I hope that's still in frame over there. I want to clarify all of these cards straight up. Can we clarify that Chariot, please, Spirit? What is group 3 attracting? I do see a person here. They're going to be a very interesting person to dissect in the extended, let's just say that. We have Art, which is the number 14. I believe that's Temperance. What is group 4 Excuse me, I saw the 14. What is group 3 attracting, please, Spirit? What is group 3 attracting? We have the Queen of Swords. What is group 3 attracting? Can we clarify that 7 of Swords, please, Spirit? The Hermit. And clarifying that Ace of Swords, please, Spirit. That Ace of Swords. We have the 11 card Force, which is Strength. Okay, so at the back of your deck, group 3, we have the 10 of Cups. Interesting. So what are you attracting? It's interesting with the 10 of Cups here because I feel you really desire that. And I think that this reading for you isn't your only outcome. I do believe you have messages in other groups. I think this reading was aimed to steer you in the right direction and to help confront some of the issues that you've been facing when it comes to manifestation and the law of attraction. With the 10 of Cups at the back of your deck, the goal that you seem to be working towards is a happy ending, emotional fulfillment and emotional support, wanting that happy family, that happy outcome. Now, whether it's the full-blown kids and partner family, or whether it's just this sense of family and the sense of having that emotional support around you, I believe that 10 of Cups is you just wanting to be happy and having enough support around you in your future. Now, the thing about your card, sweets, is I'm seeing a lot of blockages, mostly due to inconsistent thoughts and a fear that seems to be coming back and persisting whenever something goes awry, whenever something doesn't go according to plan, or whenever something goes in the wrong direction. I see you being very afraid, and I see you being very concerned about whether you're going to get your happy ending. And if this is to do with a relationship or a home, I see that whenever anything happens negatively, you kind of either go in a downward spiral, or you're really having to kind of claw your way back up into positive thinking. It seems to be something that you're currently struggling with, or something that has deeply impacted your opportunities, because instead of recognizing your chances to get what you want, you've been focusing more on how it has been blocked from you. I see with the Chariot reversed and Temperance, the art card here, there's a clear indication from Spirit that you're attracting right now the chance to really balance out your fears and work through your blockages, the opportunity to feel more in control of the things you can control, and to feel more peace of the things that you cannot control. I see your goal right now in terms of what you are attracting in the here and now is peace, stability, temperance, and just this balance, this inner harmony. Because the truth is, you cannot control everything here, and there are naturally going to be moments in life where you're disappointed by what other people's actions, decisions, or efforts have caused in your life. So I see you learning to be able to let go of that and balance that fear out, those blockages out. I see with the Knight of Cups over here reversed and the Queen of Swords upright that your group is learning how to balance your emotional needs with the energies you're receiving from others. I think some of you, it's going to vary. It's about having healthy boundaries for all of you. But for some of you, your goal with that is learning to let love in again. Your goal with that is learning to let people close to you again. And I'm not just talking about romance. I think for some of you, this is even friendship. This is even people who you could facilitate stronger emotional bonds with. This is about allowing kindness and loving actions towards you. Some of you are so used to taking care of yourself or needing to be there for yourself. You got to let other people take care of you as well. With that Queen of Swords, there is a very cold energy associated with that Knight of Cups reversed. And sometimes the Knight of Cups reversed can look like rejection of a love offer, or an emotionally unavailable person who was too shy or too afraid to accept love into their life or to initiate a love offer. So I see that in the immediate future, you're attracting this. And the goal with that is, like, listen, it could come very obviously. There could be someone that you're interested in, and for some reason you want to pursue something with them, but the fears you're experiencing block this person, reject them, and give them the impression that you're not interested. This is just an example. It's not going to apply to all of you. And so I think you're going to learn that the energy that you're putting out towards people is very cold at times, and it can be very recessive. Now, on the other hand, some of you need to have firmer boundaries with those around you. And if you don't resonate as someone that is cold, if you resonate as someone that is trying and that is often overextending themselves and giving too much, then your side of the fence is learning to be more boundaries based. Before you say or do anything, you have to consider, where is the line and have I stepped over it? Am I overreaching here? Is it necessary for me to give this much in this situation? Or should I be expecting them instead to meet me halfway? I think that your group is split here because you're all kind of on the same path, but from different stories, right? Different journeys. And the goal here is to be able to balance your efforts when it comes to connections of emotional intimacy, not just strangers you've met that day, not just acquaintances and casual colleagues. I'm talking about those people that are really trying to foster close relationships to you, learning how to balance your efforts to ensure that you're allowing the right amount of emotional intimacy from the right people. With the Queen of Swords here, this is a journey of reflection, perception, and constantly just checking in with the situation, staying grounded. What have I done? What have they done? Type of thing. Our Queen of Swords can be a very bigger picture kind of person, in terms of they often kind of look at the bigger picture from the top, and that can make them too far removed from the situation. They're so used to observing everything that they've forgotten to take action at times. But this Queen of Swords doesn't miss anything. So I see that you are attracting perception and the ability to be able to see everything in a situation, to understand, well, how much should I give? How much do I need to give? Now over here, with the Seven of Swords upright and the Hermit reversed, you guys are learning when to bite your tongue. You have lived experience, you have wisdom. In fact, you have the ability to analyze and helpfully guide others, but you're learning how and when that is helpful. With the Seven of Swords, you don't need to be everybody's guiding light. You don't need to be everybody's savior. In fact, you're only really responsible for yourself, group one. And I think the Seven of Swords is talking about you knowing when to kind of speak and when to just go, not my party. You know, what do they say? Not my crazy, something like that. It's like not my problem type of thing. Now, I think with the Seven of Swords being upright for you, you are attracting the ability to recognize when something isn't quite right. Like if you don't already have it, I feel like most of you already have that. It's this idea of, I pick up, you haven't said it explicitly, but I'm picking up on the fact that you're lying to me. I'm picking up on the fact that the situation isn't authentic and there is a sneaky trickery behavior in the background. But with the Hermit reversed, although I know this, I'm not going to let it stand in my way. I'm just going to remove myself from that situation. I think a lot of you are learning how to put yourself back out there in the position of being vulnerable enough to connect with others and create meaningful relationships, while also not being a fool, right? Because you don't need to be hurt any more than you already have. You don't need to feel the pain of somebody's lying, cheating ways any more than you already have. So I feel with the Seven of Swords upright, it's like you're learning how to dance with the devil a little bit over here. You're aware of how capable people are in terms of being deceitful, deceptive, but you're learning when and where to call people out on it and how to kind of just safely remove yourself without needing to go on a crusade of injustice. So it's interesting here because I think that you're learning to be more and more healthily selfish, focused on yourself in a positive way, which is ultimately why we have the art card here. The art of tempering yourself and balancing yourself and not needing to be here, there, and everywhere to the point where you're not effectively anywhere, you know? And lastly, over here with the Ace of Swords, I see that group 3, you are going to be attracting clarity, information, and potentially some sort of news that is very positive for your current situation. I see with the Ace of Swords here that your group is attracting some kind of message that with the Strength card, this Force card here, should help you feel more confident and somewhat courageous about the next step and the path that you're currently on. It's almost like confirmation. And I think that there's a lot of passion behind that information. It's like you've got the seed of inspiration and you're trying to think, well, what can I do with this now? I believe with the Force card being there, that a lot of you are going to get the chance to kind of prove yourself in a new way. And the thing about this playing out with the Strength card and not another Wands card or another fire-based card is that your reasons for proving yourself are to simply prove to yourself that you are capable. You're not doing it to impress anybody else. You're not doing it to prove yourself to anyone else. If they do find that impressive, then wonderful, that's a bonus. But I see this as a journey of you discovering yourself and just trying to get better at what you're doing for yourself. That's what it feels like over here. So I do see that as a very positive side note. And I think we need to kind of appreciate that whatever this news is, when it comes your way, group 3, it's going to really boost your confidence. It's going to really boost how you see yourself and how you see the options that you have right now. It feels like it kind of reinstills a fire that you've been trying to stoke yourself. So let's clarify the timing on these things before we take it into the extended. When can group 3 expect this Temperance Chariot energy? Okay. Spirit was quick because it has a lot to do with your perception. We've got the 8 of Swords here in the upright position. So the thing about this Chariot energy, it is all about how you see your situation. This can happen as soon as now. It can be lost as soon as tonight. You know, it's an ongoing situation of working through your fears and understanding your blockages enough to be able to balance the levels of control that you have in that situation. Your blockages may be beyond your control. So is it worth stressing about, worrying about? Your stress, your concerns, where you put your mental focus is within your control. And learning how to retrain your mind to be able to be more balanced may be something that you guys are working on, because there are ways to get on top of intrusive thinking. We don't have to feel like a victim of our own thoughts. So this could happen very quickly with the 8 of Swords. As a timing, it's about you and putting yourself in that position to really work on your mind, your thoughts, and the way that you are thinking, because there's a lot that you can do, while also there's a lot of you accepting what you can't do in that situation. Now, I would encourage you to not take that on board singularly, especially if you are struggling with intrusive thinking. Obviously, this is a tarot reading, so I'm not a health professional, but I can share from my own experience that seeking the help of a health professional is always beneficial. It can be a difficult journey in terms of, I think every mental health sector in the world is overwhelmed. So I do recommend getting on a referral list and seeking that support today. It's highly likely that it could take months before you see your new therapist or your wonderful, amazing health professional. And you've got to treat them like people. Just because they have a psychologist degree doesn't mean their personality is going to click with you. So if it doesn't work at first, try again. I encourage you to continue trying, because it's not just like seeing a GP, right? You have to kind of trust the person that you're with. You have to feel as somewhat of a connection to your therapist, your counselor, your psychologist, psychiatrist. So if they don't click well the first time, go back on the list and try to find that person again if you can, because when you do, that'll be very helpful. So let's keep going with that Knight of Cups. When can group 2... Oh, my alarm just went off. When can group 2 expect? We have the Two of Cups. So, sweets, this person, I'm going to have to talk about them in the extended reading, because this person is someone that's been trying to come into your life and you have been blocking them out. So I want to see if this is a new person. I want to see what their personality is like. If they're an existing person, what are the blockages? Why is this connection suffering? Because the Knight of Cups reverse tells me that you have been struggling to take things further with this person. Emotions have not been explicit, and there's a level of this connection that feels blocked. Their actions feel blocked. So we're going to have to talk about them in the extended in terms of who you are attracting. But I want to explain this Two of Cups in terms of a timing. Two of Cups is a lot of patience, a lot of compromise, a lot of balancing, accepting, communicating. So the thing about having a successful relationship and your happy ending is that it involves you trusting each other, communicating with each other, connecting with each other, and accepting each other. The Two of Cups is often associated with kind of like a soulmate vibe, because it's a feeling of kindred spirits, and you have to be able to... Sorry, group 2, we were just cut off because I talked too much. But as I was saying about that Two of Cups, you have to be able to compromise and come to an understanding that is mutually beneficial. This isn't about one person bending over backwards for the other person. This is about the two of you recognizing each other's strengths, each other's qualities, each other's weaknesses if necessary, and just being able to accept each other for who you are, appreciating how you work well together, while also accepting each other's differences. So it takes time. Something like that isn't going to happen overnight. The right people make it easier, that's for sure. If you're both coming from the same space and the same place where you want the same things, it may not take as long as others. It could happen a lot quicker, but it's all about that, creating that emotional intimacy in terms of the timing with that one. So for as long as the emotional intimacy is lacking, so too will the outcome. Until you find someone or create something with someone where you're both emotionally open, emotionally able to communicate what you want and what you need from each other, then you will be able to have that outcome. But for as long as you don't have that, you'll be delaying that and potentially clinging to the wrong thing. So we're going to have to explore that in the extended, because that's definitely a person. Let's have a look at the Seven of Swords. We have the Tarot del Toro card. So this is my main character card in this deck. This tells me that when it comes to you learning when to bite your tongue and learning how to be more perceptive and aware of people's deception and when to remove yourself from needing to call them out on that behavior, I feel you being more selective over what you share with other people too, just for the sake of not being an open book. It has a lot to do with you getting back your sense of power and confidence. I think for the main character card to be reversed, this is you attracting not necessarily the best possible outcome for yourself, but definitely a temporary remedy. This feels like you needing to recharge and put in some healthy self-care boundaries. So I think that this needs to happen from today. I think that this is something that you need to definitely be conscious of and be aware of, because you need to be treating yourself like the main character, to the point where you don't need to be involving yourself in everybody else's messes. You don't need to be broadcasting everything to everyone else. When you're the main character, people want to keep up with you. And if they don't, then they don't need to be a part of your story. Let them be their own main character in their lives. Let's have a look at that Ace of Swords for group 3, please, Spirit. When are they attracting that clarity that will reinstill their confidence, passion, and power? Because you're moving forward. That's the main thing. We have the Two of Pentacles in the upright. So this is something that you're going to need to work on. The thing about the Ace of Swords is that could come in today. It could have came in yesterday. Very fast energy of communication coming in quickly. However, the Two of Pentacles tells me that this is something that you need to balance out in your daily life. It's not something that you can just expect an immediate solution for. It's the ability to see clearly or to receive information while also balancing out your efforts towards it. So I think with the Two of Pentacles, there's going to need to be follow-up here. After you receive this information, in order to get the most out of it, you're going to need to balance your effort towards it. You're going to need to make time for it. This makes me think that this information does not impact a current priority in your life. For example, it's not associated with your workplace, or it's not associated with your morning routine. It's something that you have to make time for, and it's something that you're going to have to structure in order for it to be most successful. It also tells me that this is something that's going to balance out your daily life so that you're not just living to work, you're actually working to live again. Now, your deck kind of flipped over, but technically at the bottom deck we have the Nine of Cups. So overall, the goal here for you in terms of timing is to only give you as much as you can manage. If you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, these things are going to come in drips and drabs to ensure that you're not taking on too much. When you are more focused on your happiness and doing what is best for you, putting up those healthy boundaries and letting go of some other boundaries that may have been blocking emotional intimacy, then you're going to really experience fast change. But otherwise, the goal here, especially with Selective Shield and Parsec, is to only give you as much as you can manage right now, while slowly chipping away at the overall goal of your happy ending. So that's what I see for you, Group 3. I'm going to take this into the extended reading now, where we'll have a look at who you are attracting. I'm going to focus on that Knight of Cups character because they're definitely someone that you're attracting currently, but we want to know more about them. Who are they, and how do the two of you impact each other? If the reading is needed, we're going to look at how the two of you can get the best possible outcome. So if it's being indicated that you and this person already know each other and you're just struggling to get closer, that's what the avenue that we're going to take. We're going to have a look at how to get the best possible outcome with them. I'm also going to be pulling channeled messages, which is why I was shuffling this deck in your reading, getting it ready. So if you would like to join me in the extended reading, the link will be in the description box. It's already recorded, so I shall see you there. Before you go wherever you're going, thank you so much for all of your support right here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in and supporting me, this community, and free tarot in general. I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye!